What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Galaxy Note 10 Plus versus the S25 Ultra here. This should be a very good comparison. I'm really curious to see how these cameras come out and the speed and everything. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started here. And I want to talk about the trade-in. The trade-in for this phone, since it's a much older phone here, we're only getting like $250 for this device here. So you're going to be paying quite a bit if you do decide to upgrade to the S25 Ultra here. So let's go ahead and talk about the hardware here. So what's interesting about the hardware on the Note 10 Plus, even though it's a phone that came out in 2019, this phone still looks very good. It still looks really cool. The Aura Glow color really stands out in 2025 here. Just has a very unique look with the color shifting effect. As you guys can see, the cameras have gotten massive over the years. And as you guys can see, the S25 is not as boxy anymore like the Note. The Note is very, kind of squared off. And yeah, so the Note is actually not that bad to hold. Like, it's not super sharp on these sides here. It does kind of curve, so it's not too bad, but the S25 Ultra, the only thing I don't like about this design is that it's kind of like squared off right here, so it kind of feels like kind of sharp in the hands a little bit on these sides, but in the palm it does feel better. But yeah, I would say the Note 10 Plus design wise is still pretty good. And what's pretty cool about the Note 10 Plus, and why a lot of people actually hold on to it, it does have SD card support. And then we also do have the Bluetooth S Pen on board with the IP68 dust and water resistant on both of these phones. So hardware wise, like I said, you'll actually be losing out on the S Pen feature. So I'll show you guys. I've been talking about this a lot. It's just something that a lot of people aren't aware of. If you are upgrading, if you're not really into phones like that, but on your S Pen, the Bluetooth is going on the S25 Ultra. So that means you take a photo, you can take a photo on the Note, and you can also like switch between your music, with the double press. You cannot do that on the S25 Ultra. So just do note that it is not the same S Pen. The Air, actions and stuff like that are not present. So yeah, so you'll be losing SD card support in the Air actions. For you guys concerned with the size of the phone, you guys can see the S25 is a lot thicker as well, and the S25 is definitely heavier. You do have the matte finish on here as well, so you don't pick up those fingerprints or smudges. And that basically is all there is to the hardware. And this is made out of titanium as well too. Alright, so let's talk about the display improvements here. So on the Note 10 Plus, we actually still do have a very good display considering how old the phone is. It is a 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED display. It's HDR10 Plus. It's 1440p and it's 498 for the PPI with the Gorilla Glass 6. It is a 60 Hz display. So you do have on the S25 Ultra, it's a bigger, slightly bigger 6.9-inch display. It's dynamic LTPO, 120 Hz, HDR10 Plus, 2600 nits peak brightness. It is also 1440p, 498 for the PPI, and has a tougher glass with Gorilla Glass Armor 2, and then it is a completely flat panel as opposed to the Note's curved panel here. So basically the first thing that'll stand out is the actual bezel difference. The bezels have gotten extremely thin on this S25 here, and then you also do have the anti-reflection coating on the S25 Ultra as well. And I would say the biggest change here between these two displays is going to be, one, the max brightness. If you're outdoors, you have that 2600 nits on the S25, so it's a lot brighter than the Note 10 Plus if it's like sunny outside. So that is also, an improvement here. But I think the number one thing that will stand out the most is actually this 120 Hertz versus the 60 Hertz. The Note 10 Plus actually still has a very smooth 60 Hertz display, but you'll notice like the animations and everything look a lot like more fluid and faster on the S25 Ultra here for sure. Just when you're like scrolling, just doing basic stuff on your phone, it just feels a lot smoother because of that 120 Hertz. But that's pretty much it. The Note 10 Plus, as you guys can see, it still has a very nice display. But yeah, so those are some pretty decent upgrades as far as the display. Alright, so let's talk about software, CPU, GPU. And the Note 10 Plus, it got its last MageOS update with Android 12 One UI 4. It does have the Snapdragon 855, 256 gigs of internal storage, and actually 12 gigs of RAM on the base model here. I will do a full speed test after I'm done with these full comparisons, guys. But the Note 10 Plus, it is still pretty fast for, just everyday daily use. And yeah, so it's not getting security updates or anything like that. And then on the S25 Ultra, we have the new Snapdragon 8 Elite processor and then 256 gigs of internal storage and 12 gigs of RAM. On this base model running Android 15, this model will get 7 years of MageOS updates, so it will be supported for a very long time. And you guys can see the difference in the single core and the multi-core. And then we switch over here to the GPU, and you guys can see there is a massive leap here when it comes to GPU performance. So basically what this means, if you are a power user, you will really feel the difference between these two phones. All right, so as far as your general speed here, let's see if we notice a big difference here. Definitely a noticeable difference, but not dramatic where it is like crazy. Let's check out those animations. So again, the 120 hertz plays a big part in making the S25 feel a lot smoother. So that's why I said that'll stand out more than your app opening speeds. So you guys can see definitely a little bit of a gap here for sure. It seems to be more noticeable when we enter games, but the Note 10 Plus, as you guys can see, is not really that slow. So general usage, I mean, what do you guys think? I don't think it's like super impressive. Let's go ahead and open up PUBG. Bit of a heavier game. So for stuff like this, PUBG is gonna be a lot faster. So if you are somebody who is a competitive gamer, you run emulators, do video editing on your phone, then you'll be able to take advantage of the power of this phone. And yeah, so that's something that you will notice immediately. It's just a much more powerful phone. Alright, so when it comes to a game like PUBG, as you guys can see, you will get much better settings here. 120 frames. You can only play at, for 60 frames on the Note 10 Plus. And it is a much smoother, faster experience. But like I said, you have to be someone who is going to take advantage of this. So you have to be someone who's playing games, Call of Duty, Genshin, and stuff like that. But yeah, it is definitely a faster experience for sure. So something that you may or may not care about is the Galaxy AI features. There's a lot of AI features packed into this phone, like call assist, writing assist. You have live translation on here, the photo assist, drawing assist. The audio erasers are really cool, I think, as well. And the Now Brief is cool. So there's a ton of like little AI stuff in here that you could take advantage of that's baked into the phone. You have your circle to search as well too. And yeah, guys, it just depends on if you are going to use this AI stuff, but some of it's useful. I like the circle to search. Some of it's useful, but I don't find myself using it most of the time, so it really just depends. But besides that, you actually be surprised to see that One UI has gotten a visual overhaul, but again, a lot of the stuff is still here, like Samsung desktop support. It's not like super different. So yeah, there's new stuff, new customizations and stuff like that, but in general, the software on the Note doesn't really feel that outdated. Let's check out these speakers side by side. Max volume. Start with the Note. So as you guys can hear, the S25 Ultra is actually dramatically louder, has better bass quality as well. It's overall, again, a better speaker here for sure. I do like the way the Note sounds though. I do like the way it sounds. So you can get the mess with the equalizer on the S25 Ultra to get it to sound a little bit more like the older Galaxy phones, but as far as your overall sound, it is louder, better bass, so definitely a upgrade in the speaker department for sure. As far as the cameras go, this is a pretty big spec bump up here. So on the Note 10 Plus, we actually have a 12 megapixel standard, a 12 megapixel telephoto that has 2x optical, and we're able to go up to 10x max zoom. We also have a 16 megapixel ultra wide with a 0.3 depth sensor. And then we also do have 4K 60 video with a 10 megapixel selfie that shoots in 4K 60. The S25 Ultra has a 200 megapixel standard, a 10 megapixel telephoto with 3x optical, and then we also do have a 50 megapixel periscope telephoto with 5x optical, and then we also have a 50 megapixel ultra wide on here, and then we also have 8K 24 and 30 video. This can go up to 100x zoom, and then we also have a 12 megapixel selfie camera that shoots in 4K 60. So pretty big spec update. Check out these side-by-side stills. Let me know what you guys actually think of this improvement. Now, as far as the battery life experience, guys, the battery life has definitely improved. Overall, the standby time is going to be better, and overall screen on time is going to be better. Even if you put a new battery in the Note 10 Plus, you would still have much better screen on and standby time on the S25 Ultra. And that is thanks due to, one, the bigger battery. It has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery on the S25 versus the 4,300 milliamp hour battery on the Note. And then we also do have 45 watt charging on both, with wireless and reverse wireless charging. So yeah, so if your battery life is one of your main concerns, this is a great update when it comes to battery life for sure. So overall, in conclusion, guys, should you make this update? I think this is a solid update overall. If you don't mind losing the SD card support and the Bluetooth functionality with the pen, then this is a solid update. I think you're getting quite a bit. Now, the only thing I don't like here is that this is very expensive upgrade here, especially if you're not on some type of carrier deal, just paying out of pocket. You're still gonna pay, you know, $1,000-some, right? And yeah, that's the only thing I don't really like. But the cameras are better. You also do have overall longer software support, and then you also do have a much more powerful chip. If you are a power user, if you're not a power user, it really doesn't matter. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Would you guys make this upgrade? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.